Okay, everyone. It is 9 o'clock. So we will go ahead and get started, knowing that this is recorded, so the people who join a little late, they can watch it in recorded form, or they can also see the captions. So I'm going to say that in Chinese too. 大家好，今天晚上的活动我们现在就开始。抱歉，我这稍微听了一下，所以今天晚上的这个活动有中文也有英文，我们等一下还会把会议记录给传出来。So, Coach Fred, what I just told people is that tonight's event is recorded. I'm speaking sometimes in Chinese, and then other times, of course, as you speak, it's all in English, but we'll send out the summaries to everyone. Okay? If you can mute yourself and say a quick hi to everyone. Coach Fred, I think you had to find a way to unmute yourself. All right, Coach Fred. We can see your account, but we can also see that you are muted right now. So go ahead and try to take yourself off mute.
Got it.
Or
I got
okay.
it. I got it.
All right, good for you. All right.
Here I am. All right.
So from time to time, I'm going to help translate, but other times I'll let you speak in English and then later on use Chinese. Okay?
Sounds good.
All right, so I'm going to do a little background introduction. So hi, everyone. Larry Lin here. I'm the founder and also current president of what's called Long Island Sunshine Parents Organization. And today, it is great for us to introduce to you a very interesting topic and a coach that I just met recently who helps to train young people and also adults in training running. 很快跟大家打一下招呼，我是林 Larry，我就是长岛阳光父母的创始人以及现在的会长。我们今天给大家带来的一个话题就是Fred 教练他跟我们讲说带青少年以及带大人开始赛跑。Okay, Coach Fred, I'll let you introduce yourself and then do your program, and then later we open to discussions. Okay?
Okay. Great. My name is Fred Bedline. I've been coaching about 40 years. I am international level, elite level coach, para-athletic, Olympic, also level 3 for the United States. I was an instructor for 10 years. I taught over 2,000 coaches how to coach better. I'm an exercise physiologist and a strength and conditioning specialist as well. And this is what I've done my whole life. I started running track in high school, and my coach believed in me and changed my life and gave me all kinds of opportunities that I wouldn't have had without him. And so I pay back that favor all the time. As far as from what I understand, the topic that we're going to talk about today is making young runners better, and what are the advantages of that in terms of college. Running. There's a lot of science now, a lot that we know on the elite level that hasn't gotten down to a lot of the high school programs. A lot of high school programs are kind of behind. And there's a lot of stuff that we can do in terms of biomechanics, development of the athletic ability, developing different energy systems, and all kinds of different levels to take a runner to a much higher level and improve their skills. Things they can do in addition to what they're doing currently that can make a big difference. And this is true in all kinds of athletics because the athletes, there's a lot of things that can be done in such a competitive field. I mean, there's good opportunities with the science that we know and what we're capable of doing now to really take athletes to a high level. But not every high school kid gets the opportunity, because a high school kid is predetermined to their high school coach. And if that high school coach is at a certain level, it can limit the kid. So it's good to develop that kid to a higher level if they want opportunities. And there's a lot of opportunities in terms of college with track. There's really three things that track can do for you in college. And I was a college coach for a number of years. And I got to work with administration a lot and see what track and what athletics means to a kid in college. So there are three opportunities for that, which is one, obviously a scholarship. A kid can get the opportunity to get his education paid for, but there's also, it also gives them a chance to upgrade, meaning that even if they don't get a scholarship, if a kid wants to get into a much better school than they may be able to get into, their skills as a track athlete could take them into getting in, allow them to surpass somebody with better grades and better academics to get into a better school environment. That does happen on occasions. And finally, the big one, which I've seen particularly because when working at the college, we had some advanced programs such as physical therapy, pre-med programs, and stuff like that. To get in those are harder to get into. And they do look at what a kid does. And if a kid is serious about a sport, and particularly if they're serious about track and field, because you can't fake track and field. You can't just get out there and sit on the bench. You can't just get out there and play. Track and field is a very real sport. You're out there. It's a team-oriented sport, but the athlete has to get it done. The pressure's on the athlete and the demands on the athlete. And to be good at track and field shows a balance of academics and activity, and being able to balance time and work hard and be determined and be dedicated. And it's something that is very enticing to college programs, because they want kids who are going to get involved with the college, but they also want kids who can handle the pressure of college and the demands, and being disciplined and being able to handle a heavy load. And track definitely prepares you for that. And it definitely, is enticing to colleges. I could talk all day long about anything. So if you want to direct me in any way in particular, please do.
Yeah, thank you
Larry?
so much. Yeah, I'm trying to remember that when we first met, we were introduced by one of the top runners that you trained. So she ran first place in a few different track events. And you have a certain way to help people to bring out their very best, right?
Oh, absolutely. There's a lot of elements when it comes to training an athlete. And like I said, there's a lot of science. It's not necessarily about more. It's about doing what's specific. It's about stride development. I had an athlete qualify for the 2020 Tokyo Olympics representing Colombia. And, she was 5'2" with an 8-foot stride, which is a beautiful thing to look at. But a lot of it is about mechanical development. A lot of it is about developing the energy systems correctly. A lot of it is about the mental part, sitting down and helping the athlete to compete properly and know strategy and know what to do. There's so many elements, and the self-esteem. The great thing about track and field is when you do track and field, you really learn what you're capable of. And most people often don't get to find out what they're really capable of. And a track and field athlete will get that opportunity to really test how much they can do and what they can do. And my job is to, number one, believe in them. And, with all the athletes I talk to and I work with, I always, I can see far beyond what they can see. And I can see where they're, what they're capable of becoming. And that encouragement is very important, that I can see that, that young lady who who qualified in 2020 was a good college runner and a good high school runner, but not the best, not special. But when I met her, I saw something in her, and I told her she could go a lot farther. And I have had situations like that. I've had young boys. I had a young boy who came to me who couldn't make his team. He struggled. He was struggling in high school, and we worked together, and he wound up making varsity. He eventually did quite well in college, and he actually, at the age of 31 years old, broke his first sub 4 minute mile.
Wow.
So he's still working at it, still, having fun with it. He actually has PR'd from the age of 14 to the age of 31. He has had a PR every year of his career.
Oh, we need
So
to explain to people the concept of PR, personal record.
the personal record, when
Yeah.
you do
Yeah.
better at an event than you ever did before in your life. So that's hard to do, because usually, after a while, you kind of tap out, and as athletes get older, they kind of they kind of start to go the other way. But my philosophy is, I look and I find what it is we can work on. There's always something in an athlete, no matter how good they are, that can make them better. And there's so much to work on. There's so much. People don't realize the potential, and there's so many stories. The sad, a lot of times with college, the sad thing is that college coaches sometimes they just like to look at what they see, and and they look at themselves and say, well, that's not good enough. But they're not thinking about where it can go. And I've seen so many circumstances for myself, as well as I had a chance to work with some of the best coaches in the countries, and where they took on an athlete who most colleges didn't want, and they wound up, going to the Olympics, or, winning national championships, competing on the world scene. So, the limitations are really, there's so much possibility. And I don't think we often look for just pure talent. And I'll tell you, in track and field, talent is obviously important, but there's so much more than just talent. There's work that can be done, there's drive, there's desire, and these things can sometimes surpass just pure talent, and take athletes to very high podiums and platforms.
Yeah, see that we have a few friends right now who joined. And once again, this is a recorder, so the people who are not here, they can still watch it later and then read the meeting summaries. So I guess, well, you'll probably share more with us, but we open the floor for any of the participants to ask any questions, okay?
Great.
所以我们现在就这样子啊，教练跟我们分享了一下以后，欢迎大家现在把静音打开，然后问他任何的问题。You're very welcome, attendees, to unmute yourself and ask any questions.
Hi, Dr. Coach Fred.
Yes.
Hi. So my daughter, she's a sophomore of the cross country. Do you teach cross country or only track and field?
No. I'm actually a international level distance coach. So my specialty is distance, including cross country. That's my specialty. I'm national classes, sprints, and hurdles.
Okay, that's great. So because she's interested in cross country rather than the track and field.
The cross country, well, yeah, I know I've done a lot of work with cross country. I've done more work with the distance events. And there's a lot of opportunity, because the science of distance running on the elite level has gotten so good. And there's so many things that we know that hasn't gotten down to your local. Most high schools at this point just have the kids run. They just have them run a lot of miles. get the miles in, and it's not about the miles. It's about technique.
Yeah.
It's about maximizing the energy systems, developing the ability for them to race better, particularly critical zone development. There's a lot of things that even even on the elite level took a while. I mean, back when I first joined High Performance in 2002, we had done a very poor job with the distance runners in Sydney. It was a very poor team, and we really sat down with the coaches, and we told them they had to change something, and we did. We did biomechanical analysis. We worked on critical zone, and they really weren't. Their mechanics and their technique was not equivalent to their counterparts around the world, and we worked on that. And then the U.S. has now become a powerful, a powerful force in the distance running, and we don't that we haven't seen that down at the high school level. There's not a lot of that happening, so there's so much opportunity, I think, for a distance runner, because if you can develop better form, better technique, you can run so much faster with much more efficiency and use so much less energy that you can see a dramatic increase in times. And I've worked with high school kids in cross country once a week, and I have brought down their cross country times a couple of minutes in a season, and that makes a big difference. They go from maybe being a varsity runner in the back of the varsity team to being number one in their school, and leading the division, and that makes a big difference.
Yeah, sounds great. She's not in the varsity team yet, but she's in the team. But she very like it. She enjoy running. So I want to see like how much I can push her, like doing better, try her best, challenge her limit. So that's why, and I want her to try.
Like I said, a lot of the unfortunate. I think and someone wrote. I just read something from one of my fellow coaches who put this out. Sometimes the attitude towards cross country is if we do a lot more, we get a lot tougher, then we're going to get more results. And I'm going to be honest with you, it's kind of the opposite. And it's more about doing the right things and not overdoing it, but doing it correctly. And I think that's where we need to spend more time, because kids can do a lot and kind of burn themselves out, where if they do things correctly, they'll have longer, better careers and be more faster and more successful.
Yeah, that's what she told me. Her friends in varsity team, they got an injury, they got hurt a couple times. But for herself, she said, "Mom, I'm good. I didn't get hurt. But just the time she ran, so far her PR is like for 3K, about 35.
3K, 35 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I think you mean 5K, right?
I don't know 5K or 3K, but she's doing
5K.
okay, but not that.
No, that's
not that good.
She could do, yeah. I mean, I could imagine. I've worked with a lot of athletes in my career. She could probably take over 10 minutes off that time without like that much. It wouldn't take that much to get 10 minutes off of that.
Yeah, that's right. She needs some help on that. So, but she's not really chasing for those medals, but she enjoy it. That's the good thing. She enjoy running. So I want her, and she wanted to do it better too. That's why I'm here today, to see some skill and technique. Yeah,
that's the key. A lot of people are like, when you improve your running, you're not necessarily like have to be super driven and like, oh my God, this is my life. When you improve your running, you just make it more pleasurable. You make it less likely to get injuries, and you do run a lot faster. And when you run a lot faster, it tends to be a little more fun.
Yes, yeah, that's fun. She like,
and it's not necessarily a lot harder. Like I said, it's not about the
Coach,
yes.
yeah, someone asked a question. Can you then give us a standard for high school cross country boys? What is a good level? I guess there are different ways to answer that, but no, like the very best.
There's a lot
and
of
then,
ways to answer that.
okay.
If you're, if you're seriously looking at doing something in college, I would say definitely it'd be nice if you were in the 16 or faster area. I think under 17 it would be pretty critical. But then again, I say that, but there are kids, if a kid works at it, he could be doing 19s. I mean, my senior year, I was slow. I started out really bad. But I worked hard. And my senior year, I was only running 19s. But I was strong in the distance because they do move up to 8K and 8K and 10K in college. I was strong in the distance, and I was working hard, and I actually, wasn't really that ready for college in terms of, I was a little bit slower but I worked hard, and I actually wound up, doing very well my freshman year, and dropping a couple minutes, and I got there. I got to be a decent college runner. But I think that's a reasonable standard. I mean, if you're really thinking about college, because it's not easy. College is not easy.
By the way, just to clarify, you're saying 19 minutes for a 5K, right?
I was saying that's what I was doing. I'm saying
that's a good
under
time,
17, you're gonna have to be running probably, low 17s to under 17 to even think about running in college. And you have to be ready for a good transition because the races will get longer and harder.
Wow.
So
17 minutes. That's very impressive.
Yes.
And then the person also asked for 8K. What would be a good time to aim for, and then college admissions time?
I don't think most college coaches are expecting to see 8K times. So if you got them, it doesn't hurt. I think college coaches are impressed if a kid even goes out there and tries to do 8K because it's it's a big step up. But definitely, I think if they under 30 minutes in an 8K is not a great college time, but for a high school kid, it shows that they do have potential.
Okay. But I appreciate what you said, that if the high school just send them running around and around, that doesn't really shave the time down. It takes really what a coach can do to lead them, right? to improve.
Yeah, it's all about a lot of things are about, like I said, the actual development of the energy systems, the development of toleration of the lactic acid, developing the buffers for lactic acid, developing the kick. People always, it's what we call critical zone. Critical zone is all about how you win a race. And the big key, which most people don't, it seems like high school don't really talk about this much, but the bottom line is if you can't kick that last quarter mile, doesn't matter how fast you ran in the race, because everybody will go by you in the last quarter mile, and then you don't score and you don't do well. And if a kid doesn't have a kick, that would be less tempting to a college coach, because that is the harder thing to develop for the college coach, to kick over the kid who just has pure, okay, I can run.
Okay.
So
I think Caden took himself off mute. Yeah, go ahead and ask, please.
Hi. It's very nice to meet you, Coach Red. Thanks for coming on. So I'm not actually on my. I'm in 10th grade. I'm not actually on my school's cross country team. I really just like running for like leisure, for fun. I don't plan on using it for college. I just want to use that as a way to like relax and stuff. So when training, like my PR for 5K is 21:30 something, I think 37. And then I like running long distance, not really fast. Like I'm
Okay.
actually going to run my first half marathon for Halloween. Do you have any like advice for training, like especially with dealing with the pain? Like, because I know some runners, like, you technically pain is good because it means you're stretching your muscles and everything, and it's like you're improving. But like, how do you know whether it's like good pain, like that kind of, like you're working out your muscles, or if it's bad pain, like you've accidentally like hurt yourself or you're pushing yourself too hard?
Okay. Well, pain is a very broad word. When you have like sharp, stabby, things that hurt when you walk or when you're in the middle of the run, in terms of like injury related pain, is something that you don't want, because when you're pushing an injury, then things are going to go bad down the road somewhere. When we talk about pain and distance running, you breathe heavy, you get out of breath, you get side cramps, your muscles burn. These are all good things, because these are you pushing yourself. But when something is a sharp, painful, injury like pain, that's bad. You can push your heart and your lungs and your body, and as far as lactic, that burning sensation in your legs, you can push all that stuff as hard as you want, and it will never be bad for you. But if you push something that is an injured muscle that isn't working right, at that point, it's better to try and figure out why that muscle is not working right, or that part of your body's not working right. And it could be that you're favoring one side, something's off balance. There's a weakness. I mean, a lot of things in running is strength. You do have to have some strength to run. It is important to do some basic. I'm not saying you got to go do a whole gym workout, but some basic conditioning for the legs is important, and the core, and technique is very important. Your form is critical, no matter where you want to do long distance or short distance or fast or enjoyment. Technique is everything, because if your technique's correct, you're not going to hurt yourself, and you're also going to be more efficient. And efficiency is literally when you're able to put more force in the ground with less effort and cover more ground with each step. And if you can do that, then you can run very long distances very, very quickly. And you can run it with, much great ease. And that's the most important thing to teach a distance runner, is how to be more efficient and more.
I got it. Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Another thing is, if you're speaking of like efficiency, do you have any types of things you specifically recommend your students to do if they're going for like a 3 to 6 mile run, like things they should eat before or during, or like how much water they should drink before or after? Like,
No, yeah, I mean, it's very hard to realize, but running requires a lot of calories, and it requires a lot of food.
yeah.
And I can tell you, when I competed in college, I was 190 with 3% body fat, and I had to eat about 12,000 calories a day to upkeep my. And I was training very vigorously, but food is important, because it's the fuel that, particularly your carbs, because the carbs are your fuel when you run. They're also the fuel that builds your muscle to repair it after you're done running. Now, the protein build is the muscle material, but the carbs are the workers. So your diet should be relatively high in carbs, probably about 60-70% carbohydrate. You need a good amount of food. Runners don't gain weight, so you can get away with eating a lot of food if you're out running on a regular basis. It's not. It's just going to go to fuel yourself. The body just doesn't. When you're running a lot, you're not going to gain weight.
Do you
So you have.
sorry, keep going.
Yeah, and as far as drinking goes, you have to drink a lot, and I think the most important thing is your electrolyte drinks. So be it Gatorade, Powerade, Pedialyte, it doesn't matter. Don't drink the energy drinks like Red Bull or vitamin water or any of those, because those are really full of bad chemicals. Things like ephedrine and elements that kind of speed you up and not good for your heart and not good for your body. But the key to these electrolyte drinks like Gatorade, Powerade, Pedialyte, any of those, IV, all those, is that it's a 4 to 8% carbohydrate solution. So those carbs actually pull the nutrients and the water into your muscles from your stomach. It doesn't go into your intestinal tract. It goes immediately into your stomach wall within like 30 seconds of you drinking it. You would have digested it and gotten it to your muscles. So it's very effective in getting you the energy you need and the nutrients you need. And it's also very good in not laying around your stomach, because if you drink too much water, the water just stays in your stomach when you run, because when you run, the blood goes to your muscles and your intestinal tract and your stomach and your bladder and your kidneys. All those things shut off, so that the blood can be taken from those organs and then sent to your muscles to do the exercise. So,
Got it. Coach, I'm looking at the time right now, 9:30. So actually there's something else I had to run to. So if it's okay, first of all, is it okay for us to share your contact information with
yeah,
the attendee?
absolutely.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I'll go ahead and share it on the screen right now. Coach Fred's contact number is on the screen, and I'll read it too. 516-728-4754. I found out that texting him is the best thing. So Caden, your questions, and then even getting his help to help you to become the better runner, I'll definitely contact him.
Okay, thank you.
And then in closing, I just want to remind everyone that we have this series of topics, and thank you so much, Coach Fred, for helping everyone to understand about applying for college. So later we'll publish in the meeting summaries that the 3 ways for people to see very highly a person's running accomplishments. But then our future upcoming other sports that people could consider applying college for, we have fencing coming up soon. And then after that, we'll also have arts and fashion. So just different ways for people to express themselves. In closing, I have a daughter who's not the tallest one, but she's definitely fast and got a big heart. So she's the second fastest in Long Island. So I love what Coach Fred said. That excellent runner that you trained, 5 foot 2 inches, but still 8 feet stride, right?
7 foot. I'm sorry, 7 foot stride, but yes.
7.
Yes.
That's a lot.
I made a correction there. That yes. Yes.
So we'll ask everyone to give you a round of virtual applause that you have really done a great job training people in your 40 years, and then you definitely help us tonight. So everyone, if you would like to, please contact Coach Fred to get more help and more insights, and then even college application assistance from him. Thank you, everyone.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you.